West Tennesseans continue to speak up against police brutality. I'm live in North Jackson with another protest.
And we're seeing a spike in coronavirus cases. The reason why?
We have the latest on the race for human trials on a vaccine for COVID-19.
And we will start to see more cool and dry conditions moving forward tonight and much of the week ahead. Have a look at the latest forecast coming up.
Now, from West Tennessee's News Channel, this is 7 Eyewitness News at 5.
Hundreds gather and continue to protest for a change in our local community.
7 Eyewitness News reporter Brittany Kiles is live from the event. Brittany?
That's right, Tom and Ariana. Several protests in Jackson already. Today, this is the 5th protest. Let's take a look across the street at Old Hickory Mall. I would say so far, so good. There are a lot of people out here. People are passing by. They're honking their horns. They have their signs out here. And so the protest that happened about a week ago was organized by the same person that organized today's protest. His name is Tracy Boyd, and he tells me that today's going to be a little bit different. They're going to have an expungement clinic. They're going to have voter registration, live entertainment, and food. So they're going to start here, of course, 4:30. Lots of people are still honking. 4:30 at Old Hickory Mall. Then they're going to get into their cars at around 6 o'clock and go to City Hall. That's where the expungement and the live entertainment is going to take place. But just taking another look here at their signs, they're peacefully protesting. I would say this is going very, very well, and this is all in response and in support of George Floyd. Protesters tell me that this is to fight back against police brutality and any injustices that they are faced with in America right now. I'm going to keep you guys informed with live updates throughout the show. Reporting live in North Jackson, Brittany Kiles, WVBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Of course, we'll have more from the protest tonight at 10.
Are you wearing a mask? Jackson-Madison County Public Health Department officials say people are getting too relaxed, and that may cause some problems. Some of the numbers we're seeing now could be from Memorial Day weekend. Director Kim Tedford says some of the most recent cases came from Memphis and Nashville, which are considered hot spots.
I think people are getting complacent, and I'm not saying you have to have a mask on everywhere you go, but when you are in situations where you can't social distance, please use a mask to protect people from your germs.
And what about all the protests? Mayor Scott Conger has attended some of them. He wrote on Facebook at times he took off his mask while taking pictures. He wants to remind everyone, including himself, to not forget the guidelines.
You know, sometimes you get in those moments, it's hard to remember and it's hard to think about that. And but we all need to do a little better and make sure that we're thinking about that.
The health department also says the masks the state has given them are safe. The chemical that was used on them has been approved by the EPA. They plan on having another giveaway soon.
State and federal officials meet and discuss the next school year and what it looks like during the COVID-19 pandemic. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Allie Mason attends a virtual conference with the Senate Help Committee.
As educators and students spent a spring navigating learning, we must now consider the challenges ahead with reopening school.
With a new school year looming, many may wonder, what will school look like thanks to COVID-19? Tennessee Education Commissioner Dr. Penny Schwinn testified before the Senate Help Committee about reopening schools safely. Senators and educators from several states discussed different issues with reopening, from helping students with disabilities and distance learning.
We know assistive technology will be vital for some students to be able to access distance learning. We know that in some cases, additional staff will be needed in order to be able to potentially provide services at home to students in a socially distant way.
To testing of students and staff, along with providing the right personal protective equipment.
We'll be able to work closely with Unified Command and our Tennessee National Guard to be able to make that available for staff and students. And then we are also working to partner to provide free PPE and thermometers to any school and district who wants them.
The Tennessee Department of Education recently released a school reopening toolkit with guidelines.
School reopening must put the health and safety of our children, their teachers, and our communities front of mind.
The toolkit is a guide for local decision making. It includes different ways of getting students back to school, whether it's in person, virtual, or a mix of the two.
What we have found is that the per student cost for hygiene, disinfecting materials, including wipes, potential face masks, et cetera, is anywhere from $100 to $150 per student, depending on the decisions at the local level.
Schwinn explains funding to help students who may not be able to go back to school in person.
The $5 million compensatory education fund for our districts, $1 million in assistive technology, and $3 million plus in innovative grants so districts get supports they need.
In Jackson, Allie Mason, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
For more information on school reopening, visit our website and click Seen on 7.
In Tennessee, the latest number of positive coronavirus cases is now 27,869 with 436 deaths. According to the Tennessee Department of Health in West Tennessee, the number in Madison County is still at 185. The county has 2 deaths out of a population of 98,000. Gibson County has 64 with 1 death. Carroll County has 29 cases with 1 death. Chester County has 12 cases. Crockett County, 16 cases with 3 deaths. Hardin County has 31 cases with 2 deaths, and Henderson County has 16 cases. For a full list of cases by county, look for this story on our website under the COVID-19 tab.
Looking at the numbers across the state now, according to the Tennessee Department of Health, 528,635 people have been tested, 27,869 tested positive for coronavirus. Nearly 2,000 were hospitalized at one time across the state. 18,516 recovered from COVID-19. There are about 6.7 million people living in Tennessee. Local company helps out wildlife in the area. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Clint Island shows you what they donated.
At one point, the American wood duck was nearing extinction, but thanks to conservation efforts, the population is now thriving. Part of that population is right here in West Tennessee, and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency is in charge of managing it.
Building nesting boxes either for bluebirds or wood ducks is always a good thing to do because it provides them nesting habitat.
Wood ducks reproduce much more with nesting boxes, and the TWRA needed supplies to build them. That's when a local business in McKenzie, Shoemaker Lumber Company, stepped up to the plate.
And Mr. Shoemaker, he's that kind, caring individual that when the manager was checking out, he struck up that conversation and he said, "What are you doing?" And David explained that, "Hey, we're building nesting boxes." And he said, "I want to donate. I want to donate this. I want to help out wildlife."
Shoemaker Lumber donated $1,000 worth of wood, allowing the TWRA Forestry Division to make 50 boxes.
They're always looking for that hole to nest in, and that's what these wood duck boxes provide. It provides them a cavity on a tree to nest in.
Folks that, kind of appreciate the work we do and then kind of understand the work we do is very important.
The boxes are located around West Tennessee sites where wood ducks are prominent, and those who enjoy the outdoors should see the effects now, partly thanks to the generosity of the community.
And you should be seeing baby wood ducks at this time.
In East Jackson, Clint Island, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Locations for the boxes include Moss Island, Thorny Cypress, White Lake Refuge, and Bogota.
Well, you've probably noticed it's felt a lot more comfortable outside. Well, we had a cold front move through earlier this morning. It's definitely made things a little bit more comfortable in terms of lower humidity and slightly cooler conditions. So right now we are seeing variable cloud cover throughout the rest of the evening. We'll start to clear out a little bit more as we go into tonight as high pressure continues to push into the area. But behind the cold front, drier air has filtered in. As you can see, the areas in the brown, that's indicating very dry air over us. And we are actually going to be stuck in a little bit of a dry pattern for the time being, but temperatures are actually a lot cooler than they were this morning, where we were very close to around 80 degrees. So after that cold front moved through, it definitely has cooled us down. Felt a lot more refreshing with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s today, cooling down to possibly as cool as the upper 50s for tonight with clearer conditions heading into our Thursday. So this first look is brought to you by Window World of Jackson. I'll talk about what's in store for the rest of our week ahead and that dry weather pattern that we can expect coming up in just a bit.
The brother of George Floyd testified in Capitol Hill today what changes to police reform he's demanding.
And a university is offering the daughter of George Floyd a full ride scholarship.